For most of my life, I grew up with this mistaken belief that success was defined by a job title. I remember when I was a teenager and I came back home from speaking to the careers advisor, and I said to my dad, I don't know what career path to go down because that would influence the degree I choose at university. And my dad said to me, well, don't think too far ahead. If you focus on what would help you become a banker, a lawyer, a doctor, or an accountant, you'll be successful. So my definition of success was limited to these job titles. And it was understandable because we didn't have social media at the time. The internet wasn't born yet. And so you were influenced heavily by your community and your family, by the jobs they did and what they saw to be successful. So I went to university. That was an experience in itself because I failed my second year. Imagine telling that to a Chinese father that you had failed your second year, let alone any parent. So that became a 4-year degree. I finished that, went to the world of finance. I got seduced by films such as Wall Street and Boiler Room. And so I thought that was the path to making money and experiencing happiness. So I started in finance in the worst possible time. It was the middle of 2007. And I said, I'm going to work myself up the career ladder. And maybe in a few years' time, I'll reflect on what I want to do. Maybe I'll change company. Maybe I'll pivot my career. But a year later, the financial crisis swept across the planet, and the company I was a graduate with was Lehman Brothers. So as you can imagine, it was very surreal in September 2008, where your company was all over the news about whether it would survive, would the government bail them out, but it collapsed, and I was in the position where I had to look for another job far earlier than I ever imagined. And while I still spent nearly 10 years in the financial services industry, the experience kickstarted what I feel is the longest journey we make, which are the inches from our heads to our hearts. Never an easy journey, but the most important and fulfilling that we will ever embark on. So I started reflecting on whether this was what I wanted to do long term, and I quickly realized it wasn't.